exactly what I need. That's what I need.
No worries.
Thank you. Hi, I'm in the car waiting for my boyfriend to finish work. Lately, I've just not been feeling well mentally. I'm just going through a rough time. I feel really weak today. I've been crying a lot. I spoke with my mom, and that was really helpful. I think it was really healing, and I think it's going to help me a lot in this whole healing process and what I'm going through right now. I cried a lot with my mom on the phone, but I think that felt really good because I haven't ever been able to tell her that I have anxiety and panic disorder. And a couple videos ago, I had talked about how I learned the Korean word for that thanks to Home Alone. And I was able to explain to her what I was going through. And because I've been practicing my Korean and improving it through the show and taking Duolingo, wouldn't it be hilarious if I was suddenly like, who's sponsoring this video? It was the first time I was able to communicate to my mom about what was happening and how long I've been struggling with it for, what it feels like, what I'm struggling with. I'm getting like emotional talking about it now. I don't know. I felt like a weight lifted. I felt like it changed the quality of our relationship now that she knows what's happening. I was able to go back to some early childhood memories of when I remember the same feeling now that I have now that I felt as a kid or even as a very young child, that I was able to explain to her those memories, and she said she had no idea that that was going on. And I was like, hey, I was a kid, so I had no idea it was not normal. And maybe that was why it was hard for me to make friends, because other kids thought I was weird. I wasn't like thinking like other kids. As a kid, I was having like adult worries. I'm just gonna like relax for a second because I'm gonna start crying, and I don't want to start crying because we have dinner reservations after this. Okay, so I'm gonna change the subject because I'm just gonna start crying. A positive note to all of this is that one of the ideas I had as a solution to my anxiety is that I'm just going to work out more. I've done the walks, but I think just the other day I went to the gym, and that was really great. And I'm achy from the gym, which is a very satisfying ache. I'd rather ache this way than in the other way I had been from like, sitting at my desk for too long and having those like shoulder and back aches. I bought a couple of new gym shorts because I am over the biker short era. I'm over it. I just want to be comfortable. I swear, I think all of us girls are just going to go full circle all the way back to just wearing baggy clothes. Oh my God, I am editing my video right now. I'm gonna post tomorrow. I am so sick of hearing myself talk about anxiety, but it's just like, I'm still going through it. So what am I gonna do? Anyway, I just finished my hour walk. I had my neurofeedback session yesterday, my first one back. It was interesting. I felt much better. Like I felt physically calm. But when I got home, after a while, like the effects of it seemed to have worn off. So I started to get into like a really dark place again, and I was feeling really anxious, and I started crying and all of this stuff. And then I took a shower, and I had a serious talk with myself in my head where I had to list all of my achievements, all of my accomplishments these past several years. I think it was the first time that I really talked to myself in a way that was really positive, sort of like a drill sergeant. I did it like Korean style in my head, but it was just me saying like, you're strong, you're brave, there are so many things that you've accomplished. In the midst of all this, you've been through worse, you've gone through this before, and I vowed that I would be determined determined to not let this define me. I have my second talk therapy session in about 15 minutes. I am gonna get ready because I'm sweaty right now, so I'm gonna get ready for my session. I have to put away my treadmill. We just picked up lunch. We're walking Ramsey. Here goes. Oh, there she goes. I'm in a much better mood than I was when I was here last time talking to you. Last night, my boyfriend and I were invited to, I'm playing with my Octo Buddy, that's the sound. My chiropractor invited us to a health lecture she was giving. It was really fun because she provided food and the food was really good. I've really been grateful for her in my life. I've made a lot of positive changes that she's encouraged me to make. She had a part where she talks about anxiety and depression and how much more that's prevalent nowadays. She said it's really ramped up. So she talks about how happiness is something that we expect. Well, what it meant to me is that happiness is an expectation that we have, yet we don't work at it. We don't work to be happy. And I think what she meant by that was we're not eating healthy. We're not sleeping well. We're not exercising. We're not doing a lot of the things that we don't want to do, right? Nobody wants to eat healthy 24/7. Nobody wants to exercise. Like, all of the things that would actually make you happy are really hard. And that's why people don't want to do it. And that's why a lot of people aren't happy. That's kind of like what I got out of that lecture. She talked about, you have a panic attack now as an adult. That is from a wound that you got as a child, or maybe even in the womb when your mom was pregnant with you. What we do as children to cope with anxiety is that we will like throw tantrums, act out, all of this stuff, freeze. I had the freeze. I was very afraid to speak up. I was shy. Shyness is a way that children cope with anxiety. And as we become adults, it comes out as panic attacks. This is also something that I'm working with my therapist and my neurofeedback there. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Pertaining to me made sense. I have been obsessed with these bald eagles that are in Big Bear Valley. They have a webcam of their nest. It is a couple named Jackie and Shadow, and every year they go to this nest and they lay eggs. They had 2 eggs hatch, and we were still waiting on the third one. And then the third one started. There was a pip. That's what they call it when like it starts like trying to break through the shell. The hole's getting bigger and bigger. And you only get a glimpse of them when, you know, like Jackie or Shadow like get up from brooding. I'm constantly checking on them. One of the biggest lessons I've been getting is just like watching these like magnificent, majestic creatures withstanding snowstorms, you know, chasing off predators. Like, the only thing I could think is like the that we care about and worry about, and these eagles are like fighting for their lives up there. So it's really brought a lot into perspective for me. meeting. Hi. Bye. I haven't been out of the house that much. Gosh, I don't even remember like how often I've been leaving the house because I have been feeling so unwell. So I just got off of that meeting. Went really well. Everything else is going really well except my mental and physical health, I guess. I impulsively bought an Aura ring because I had one, and then I had to return it because the ring itself was too large, and then they brought out, like, they updated it. I spoke to my doctor and I felt a lot better. The floaty feeling that I feel, where I just don't feel quite grounded and I feel like almost dizzy but not really, it sort of felt like the disassociation, the depersonalization I was feeling with my anxiety. And then it just sort of like got really intense at one point, and it's gotten a little bit better. I would say like maybe like 5% better every day, which is good. I'm really exhausted at like, working on like excavating the dredges of my brain with therapy and just like really focusing on this. I feel like all I talk about and all I think about is how to manage my anxiety. So yeah, I just sort of test myself to see how I'm feeling, if the world feels floaty. Right now it feels pretty okay. Not even any clouds in the sky. It's really blue and clear. Okay, I'm gonna try this like 7-minute chakra reset my chiropractor told me about. It is called Jonathan Goldman's chakra timer. Let's see.
First chakra. The vowel sound is
You have to chant. I just got to my neurofeedback therapy, and I'm just waiting because I'm here really early. I'm just eating some avocado because I didn't get to eat anything because I was on a work call for almost 2 hours. This mentaiko bread is so good. Anyway, I just wanted to document how very proud I am that I came here by myself. I drove myself, and I was really anxious at first, but I was able to make it here, so I'm proud of myself. I'm happy to report that as of right now, I don't have too much of that floaty feeling. And every night I've been taking magnesium glycinate, and I have been upping it. So last night I took 3, and that really, I don't know, I felt like I slept better and with less anxiety. I didn't wake up feeling anxious. Things are feeling really hopeful today. Hi, fam. I feel like I'm slowly crawling out of this like weird headspace that I was in, this like sort of dizzy spell I was getting with movement. Whenever I walk or stand up, I feel it, but when I'm sitting and lying down, I don't. Therapy is really good. I didn't think that I was gonna like it this much, but it ended up being like one of the most important things I could have ever done for myself. I'm realizing that I wasn't prioritizing myself and I wasn't taking care of myself. And the anxiety just sort of like kept growing. I was just like forcing myself to power through it. One of my biggest realizations from yesterday's session was that I've pretty much been in survival mode my entire life. And that was hard to hear, and I cried because I realized like, wow, so I've actually like never relaxed in my entire life. Cool. I just feel like I have been I was going to say not myself, but I don't even know who myself is right now. Like if I've been in survival mode this entire time, I don't know who I am. one of the eaglets are missing. Like, you can't see it on the camera. So everyone's freaking out, and they're like already like doing like RIP tribute videos and stuff. And I'm just like, no, we don't know anything yet. But I had to stop watching because it was giving me so much anxiety that I was just like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, it was nice while it lasted, but nature is wild. This is a good line. The past was affecting how I moved through the world, while present life was affecting how the past moved through me. It's a good line.
I also know that that's kind of like, it's very...
I read this book called Running Towards the Danger, and it is about a woman who was concussed, therefore, and like lost 3.5 years of her life because she could not stop being dizzy and getting migraines and feeling nauseous. She finally went to a doctor who was like, you need to stop making room for it, for the anxiety. And because she was like, oh, I'm not anxious. And he was like, yeah, you are. You're just exhibiting a different symptom of it. So hers was like freezing, and mine is also freezing, which means, you know, that's why I always like want to stay home. And I've become like slightly agoraphobic. There's also like a vestibular factor involved. I know that that has something to do with the ear, and it has something to do with like, it's our motion and movement. So starting yesterday, I challenged myself to do everything that is uncomfortable and scary because I need to retrain my brain out of this. I'm actually unlearning who I thought I was. I'm just rebuilding myself from scratch. Almost feels like I'm a child again. Also learning to really slow down because I have learned from my sister to rush, to be quick on my feet, and I learned from my therapist that not everything's urgent. So now I am learning to slow way down. Like, I feel like I'm moving in slow motion, but I'm just moving at a regular relaxed pace. Okay, Target is done. I am now on my way to H Mart. And at Target, I challenged myself to... This is how it's gonna be. I'm just gonna challenge myself to everything. I challenged myself to go to the regular checkout line, so I'd have to interact with the cashier. I've gotten like prepaid credit cards for birthday gifts, and I still had like odd balances left on it. So, you know, usually like a cashier has to do that for you. And a whole line of people lining up behind me, which was hilarious because I just watched You've Got Mail last night, and I felt like Meg Ryan in that scene at Zabar's where she's in like the wrong line. I'm proud of myself today. Okay, we are at Ramsey's favorite park. She was sick for an entire day, so we brought her here. But she's not as rambunctious as she normally